Alright, so we are here at Mr. Slinky, the green tree python's tank. And you can see this nice big vining plant in his tank, and it goes all the way from up there, goes all the way down there and over there. And this is all live plants. And today we're going to talk about what makes that plant called Pothos the best plant to use in your terrariums and your tropical enclosures for your animals. Now, one of the best things about the Pothos plant is that it grows super fast. Like, if you see this whole plant, this all started from a tiny little cutting that we start with really tiny cuttings that we plant into the ground. And it doesn't take long, and they just shoot up and they just start vining everywhere. So they're really fast growing plants, and so you don't have to wait too long to get your tank nice and full like this. This is our White's tree frog tank. And yeah, we just start with small cuttings and it just goes crazy. So if you want a plant that's going to fill up your tank quick, Pothos is definitely the way to go. Another great thing about Pothos is that it propagates really easily. So like, these are all cuttings of Pothos that we sell. When our plants get way too big for the tank, what we do is we cut we take cuttings from it and we sell it. So it kind of replicates itself. So you can start off with a few cuttings in your tank, and you can actually make it grow so much that you can take your own cuttings and then you can transfer it to your other tanks and everything. So they reproduce very easily. And yeah, once you start with one plant, you can just go to town. You can go crazy. These guys are also really easy to grow. It doesn't take much. All you gotta do is basically bury part of it under the soil and it'll grow. Also, this one, you can see that it is just growing in the water. We just have the end of the vine in the water, and yeah, they can grow straight from that. They don't need soil to grow. Our cuttings, as you saw earlier, they are in little tubs of water. So yeah, these guys, they can go crazy. This one is really big, and it's got really thick vine there. So yeah, they do well in both soil and water. So if you want to have a little fun with your fish tank, you can have a little Pothos vine growing out of it. And another cool thing about Pothos is that it's very durable. It can put up with a lot, of animals like crawling all over it and everything. And it doesn't break. It's pretty sturdy. Of course it can break, but yeah, it's one of the more durable ones. It's not really fragile. So Mr. Slinky here, he can crawl all around, and he doesn't break the Pothos plants up very much. They withstand movement pretty well of the animals. Also, the frogs, they like to sit on the leaves sometimes, and they're pretty thick leaves, so they can support that. Another good thing about these plants is that they are low maintenance. You don't have to do a lot to take care of them. They can grow in both nice bright light, or they can grow in low light conditions. And they're easy to maintain. Like if your animal decides to make a mess on one, you can scrub them off really easily. That's another good thing about their durability, is that they're easy to clean and everything. So you can keep them looking all nice and everything without worrying about them breaking. And yeah, for ours, you just spray at the base of the plant to keep them watered and everything, and they do really well with not a ton of maintenance, not a ton of care. So they're good for people that aren't really good at growing plants. Now that we talked about what makes them so cool, we're gonna just go over what kind of tanks you should put them in. You should really avoid putting them in tanks with animals that eat plants, like tortoises, your omnivorous lizards, like the blue-tongued skink. We do not put Pothos in with our blue-tongued skinks because they do eat greens. And Pothos actually contains a lot of oxalates, and so it's not too good for them. Oxalates can kind of bind to the calcium and make it so the animal can't use it. So it's not too healthy for them if they eat it. So we want to keep it away from your plant-eating animals. But like in this tank, we have a fire skink in this tank. The fire skink is a strict insectivore, so it does not eat plants. So it can have them in its tank, and you see we have some in here. You can also use them in tanks with like drill dragons, who are also insectivores. You can use them with geckos that don't eat plants at all. Frogs and dart frogs, those are perfectly fine too, just as long as they're not going to try to eat the plants. You just want to keep them away from that. Yeah, tegus are another one you don't want to keep live plants in with because they'll eat them up too. Yeah, we don't want you to have a belly full of pothos. And of course your snakes, this is where we usually keep our Amazon tree boas. They don't, you know, snakes don't eat plants, so they're perfectly fine to keep with the pothos. We have some grown in there, right there. So yeah, really cool. So yeah, that's just a basic overview of the pothos plant. One of our most, if not the most popular plant that we sell that people use in their terrariums. And we have cuttings that are grown in water. We also have some nice plugs that you can just transplant directly into your enclosure or your terrarium. They can just plant into the ground. So yeah, it's a really awesome plant, and it's worth picking up some for your tank.